Hello, English 216 students. So we're in week 7, approaching week 8 next week. And just as a reminder, your midterm work is due October 17th. It's on the workshop schedule. That's your revised first story. So take the comments that you got from me, that you got from the other students in the class, and use them to advantage. Sift through them. Think about what works for you. Some comments may not work for you. That's fine. It's your story. But really think about exploding your work, putting it back together, and it will come out much stronger, much more powerful, much more resonant. I guarantee it. Revision's the hard part of the process in many ways, but it's also the most important part of the process. Once you figure out what your stories are really about, what the theme is, you're taking a stance on the subject of your story, as I've written in my class notes, I think you'll have an easier time getting to the core of your story, figuring out how to flesh out some of your characters, and you'll be able to figure out how you need to push your scenes. Remember, scenes are the places to do the heavy lifting of your story. That's where the characters interact. That's where the tension comes out. That's where your characters are often in uncomfortable situations. And as we've seen, the most uncomfortable situations are the situations that really highlight your character and how that character is changing, growing. Basic story, character and conflict. The scene should show the conflict, and then by the time we get to the end of the story, we see how the character gets through to the other side in some changed way. Not a momentous change, but a simple change. Again, we're writing low to the ground stories. I'm seeing some stories where scenes are cut short, really linger on them. I'm seeing some stories where the dialogue is a little stilted. Think about writing dialogue that sounds much more natural. Remember, when we're speaking, there are pauses, there are gestures. Try to fill in those beats in your story as well, and good things are going to happen. So again, revised stories are due on October 17th, and you're really going to work on those stories. And then, fast and furious in a way, your second stories are going to come due. You all have the schedule, you know when your work is due, and hand it in the way you've been doing. I will post it on the discussion board, and things will work like clockwork. I expect to see some improvement in your second stories. Some of you are, I feel, not quite putting in the time that you need to. An hour a day of writing, that'll get you many pages and get you many revised pages. So second stories, I'm looking for more resonant, more layered characters, more uncomfortable situations. Sink your teeth into the work. On the comments that you post in the discussion boards, I'm seeing some very insightful comments. As I've warned you, quote unquote, in writing, try to read those stories earlier in the week. It'll give the writer more time to think about what he or she needs to do. And really shoot for those insightful comments. It's not really enough to say, I relate to this, or this reminds me of something that happened to me. Focus on the text of the story. Cite some lines, show some evidence why you think one thing needs to be improved, why you think the writer is doing something well in another case, and the comments will be much more helpful. And also, as I've stated, I'm writing comments obviously to individual students. Please, everybody in the class, read my comment to each story, because in many ways I'm pointing out some larger fictional ideas that I think you can use and bring to bear on your own work. So that's where we stand. We're actually about halfway through the semester or getting there, so it's time to ramp up. I know your academic classes are asking for a lot of work now, but don't lose sight of your creative writing. It's a good break from the academics. And as I've said in the first class, when all is said and done and you're going through your papers and your college careers, I guarantee you're going to hold on to those short stories that you're writing for this class and beyond this class. So do the work, do the critiques, revise well, get your midterm work in on time, and start thinking about your second stories. I will, I'm losing my voice today. I will see you soon. Take care.